JHK here for Sports Kita, and joining me right now is UFC middleweight Ian Heinisch. Ian, appreciate the time, man. Every time I speak to you, you're in a different part of the world. You're in Southern Florida right now. How's life treating you down there?
It's good, man. I'm out here in Southern Florida, chilling in my Airbnb. Hopefully the last night of living in the Airbnb, bro. Get the keys to the new house tomorrow. And, yeah, man, just training down here in Sanford. Really feel like it's a good fit for me right now, and, feeling like a second home. And, yeah, bro, everything's going well. How are you?
Good, man. Couldn't ask for much better around here. Now, for yourself, dude, like you said, you're gonna move into a new house, so that means like you're just transitioning everything. I believe you just recently got married too, so your wife is probably gonna be down there.
Oh, yeah.
How has the transition been, man? Because the training is incredible at Sanford MMA.
I mean, the transition's been good, man. It's, there's been some struggles. Like, it's kind of crazy. I'm going to get the keys to the house a year to the day, June 30th, since I moved out of my last house because we were supposed to move to Thailand. We got renters for our house in Colorado. And since then, bro, we've been on a roll of just Airbnb. At one point, we rented an RV. We were posted in front of the gym, just being nomads, man, living in Vegas. And so it feels good, man. I'm ready to kind of, get my roots down for a little bit, have a little bit of stability. And it's been a crazy process trying to buy this house, just being a 1099. And it's a crazy market. And but praise God if we get these keys tomorrow. We're basically don't have too much to move in. We already have everything ready. So it's going to be a quick, easy process. Be able to train a few more hard weeks in camp and go get the job done on the 24th.
Stability, man. That's a key word. Like, how important is that for a fighter? You know what I mean? A lot of fighters are nomads. They go here and there to train, but stability is so important.
Yeah, stability, it is. But it also sharpens you too, man, when you don't have that stability, but you can still push through, you can still mentally dial in. And that's what I've had to do, because the problem was we were supposed to close. We had 3 closing dates that we missed, all 3. So every time I'm in an Airbnb and then the closing date's here and we don't have a house, I got to find a new Airbnb on the spot or stay at a hotel. And so it's just been moving around, and I've just been having to, like, man, just mentally be focused, because when you go train at Sanford MMA, there ain't no easy rounds there. You got to be dialed in. So I just got to focus and go, and I've been training through it. And, it's I feel mentally good, but I'm excited to get that stability.
Yeah, speaking of Sanford, there's always guys in training camp there. How has that environment benefited you?
Man, just the system, the training partners, the coaching. It's just been amazing, man. I'm still using my boxing coach from Colorado, but I've just been immersed in the program, bro. And it's been the wrestling, the grappling. I mean, there's so many, the striking. It's just the strength and conditioning. Everything is just so dialed in. And I get rounds with like Phil Hawes, with Gregory, who's newly in the UFC, with Jason Jackson, with Gilbert Burns, with Anthony Rumble Johnson before his last fight. And just so many guys. Brendan Allen, I've been training with him, and just I mean, seriously, every round is a battle, is a war, and we just all elevate each other, and it's all positive vibes.
Yeah, and I spoke to Gilbert Burns just recently, and he mentioned you as a great sparring partner, a great partner in the gym. How was it training alongside him, man, as he prepares for Wonder Boy?
Man, it's just cool to pick his mind, man. You really, being around greatness really elevates your level. And man, he's really like a team captain there, and he pushes me, man, and I push him the best I can, and we just all try to help each other. It's such a cool vibe. Like, I've been in other gyms that they don't have champions and stuff, and I've been in gyms that do, but the vibe there is they have all these great champions, and they've been at the highest level in almost every promotion. I think every promotion. And so I don't feel like guys try to step on you, like, because at other gyms sometimes I feel like people want you to do good, but not better than them. But at this gym, I feel like everyone is like, it's like a positive, like, hey man, like, there's the top. We can see it. We've been there. Let's all get there together. Let's all push each other to get there. And and that kind of is a really good family feel that I really feel the guys really do care about my best interest. The coaches really do care. So I'm loving it.
Yeah, the coaches have created a great environment. Now let's talk about your last fight, UFC 258. You went to the judges with Kelvin Gastelum. What do you feel just wasn't clicking for you in that fight?
you know, I think I was so like dived into the tape and so focused. It was such a long camp. It was something like 12 weeks, something crazy, or even longer. It was 12 weeks, and then it got moved like another 3 weeks back. And I was just so focused on like his striking, right? Because I was like, man, he almost knocked out Israel. I got to be ready for this striking, and I just focused so much on like offensive wrestling, like to take him down and to be able to get him in the striking area. And I got to stop focusing on that and just focus on my game and just adapt to anyone's style, because real good fighters, they come out different every time. And that's what he did, man. He came out and wrestled me, and I felt like I came in there first a little bit heavy on my weight. The weight cut was super hard. And then I forced the wrestling right off the bat, and then he was wrestling me, and then I was going for Kimuras, and I just felt like my arms were gassing, and then I felt better in the second and third than the first. The first round was just kind of like, and then I was getting him on the striking, and it wasn't like crazy like I thought. So I kind of got my own head there, and I looked at it. It was my next big shot, like when I fought Brunson, and I just need to keep looking at these guys like it's the next fight, and being around all these guys that are at the highest level, like Brunson and stuff in the middleweight division. It's good to just pick their brain and just kind of understand their mindset going into these big fights, and just evolving and learning, man. And I'm ready to go get back in the winning column. Just take care of business. I've been doing less interviews, less Instagram, and less everything, man. I've just been focused and just really emerging myself in this fight game and why I love it and what I need to do to get the job done.
So you believe that it's on the mental side, maturing on the mental side is more important than anything else?
Yeah, I mean, there's always new techniques you can learn and sharpening up different skills. And one aspect that I think I needed to sharpen was my wrestling. I felt like I got so far away. I was so focused on my striking. I feel like I outstruck Gastelum. I felt like on the feet I was getting him, and he basically took me down. I would get right back up, and he would hold me on the cage, and he squeaked out rounds, man. He got these rounds, and he has an iron chin too. And so I feel like I needed to get back to my roots in wrestling. I know Greg Jones and Kami, the coaches, the wrestling coaches down here, and man, I've never been in a camp where I've wrestled so much. And I think that falling back in love with my first sport, the first discipline that I started, and getting back to my roots, I feel like that's super important while keeping my striking super sharp with Henry Hoof and Jacob Ramos. But really getting back to my roots and figuring out who I am as a wrestler or as a fighter and as a wrestler as I started, and just becoming the best version of me and being able to dissect any obstacle in my way instead of training for one certain person for so long. Now I just feel like I just need to grow as a fighter, and I can beat whoever's in front of me, and I'll adapt. And there's so many bodies to adapt to at Sanford, so it's not so specific training like I was doing.
A wrestler, Phil Hawes, he took on Nassourdine, your opponent coming up a
Yeah.
few fights back. Have you been working with him closely?
Oh yeah, me and Phil are great training partners, man, and we push each other. And yeah, I mean, he had the game plan, and Phil's a strong, crazy strong wrestler, man. He's just explosive all around. And yeah, we get some good work in. He's given me a few pointers of what he thinks, but at the end of the day, man, I really don't. I haven't even learned how to say the guy's name. I haven't watched any film except when I watch Phil's fight. I'm just gonna go in there and take care of business, and I'm just working on being the fighter that I know I can be. And if I be that person, I don't see any of these guys, especially out of the top 15, giving me a problem. But I can't overestimate anyone or underestimate, and I just got to go in there and do my thing, and that's what I plan on doing.
All right, then what does that look like? Coming off the Gastelum fight, what kind of performance are you expecting out of yourself against Nassourdine?
I expect a smart, patient, composed, more experienced fighter to go in there and just outclass the guy, man, and just do what I do. Not hunting the knockout. Yes, it's probably gonna come. I feel it can. The kid's tough though. I know he's tough. I seen him fight. Phil's told me, he is tough, but all these guys are tough in the UFC. But yeah, I just got to be smart, man. It gets to a point where you drill a 1-2, 1-2 cross hook, and it gets to a point where you got to use this weapon. These weapons only get you so far, and they've got me this far. So now it's time to use my mind and stop fighting two people in the cage. Stop fighting myself and my opponent, and just fight my opponent.
All right. Well, before I let you go, man, I wanted to pick your brain on a couple topics in the middleweight division. Just recently, UFC 263, Israel Adesanya, he defended the middleweight title, right, against Marvin Vettori. Some people are saying that it was like an average performance out of him. Some say it showed some holes. What did you think of Israel's performance?
Man, right there, perfect example of what we're talking about. He fought smart. That's the key, man. Once you get to these top 10, it's not about, it's technique too, but it's about, being up here, man. How do you react when things aren't going your way? And he found a way to get the win. And yeah, there are some holes, he can get taken down. He can get held down. But at the end of the day, man, the guy's winning, and he's doing it with his skill, but he's doing it with his brain. And so there are holes in Israel's game, but I hope the guy keeps winning, man. I always said this. My wife's always said it will solidify my career to end my last fight or one of my last fights by beating him.
Speaking of smart fighters, and he's shown that in his last couple, Robert Whittaker looks like he's going to be the next challenger for the title. What is your assessment of how the rematch will play out?
Yeah, I feel like Whittaker should have got the shot right away. Obviously, he had to go back to Australia, quarantine, and he needed more time. Whittaker is going to be a tough guy. And, me and Brunson were talking about it today because Brunson's fought both of them. And I think it's going to be a lot tougher of a fight. I still think probably Israel will win, but I don't think it's going to go down like it did. I think it's going to be it's really going to test him. And like I said, yeah, the smarter fighter will win.
A guy that's been tied to you in the past was Khamzat Chimaev, right? And recently Luke Rockhold revealed that he turned down 2 fights with Rockhold. Chimaev did, right? And then it was weird, man, because Chimaev has built this hype around him that he'll fight anybody, but then he doesn't want to fight Rockhold. Like a guy in your position with Rockhold, a former champ, you would take that fight any time of the day, right?
Yeah, absolutely, man. At the end of the day, who knows where he's at mentally, right? He was going to quit fighting. He fired his manager, who Ali's a good guy. I've trained with him, and he's brought me in his group of Russians to train with. And I don't know what mentally is going on with the guy, but that's why I said, fight me, fight someone who's on the lower level. We both knocked out Gerald Meerschaert. Why, you probably think you could run through me since all this confidence I see every time you're on camera. Why not fight me? You might be more nervous to fight like a Luke Rockhold because you went from down here to up there, but fight the guy in the middle. Fight the guy who's fought these guys that are ranked and test yourself. Work your way up the ladder. And he doesn't want that fight either. So I don't know what's up with the guy, man. He's got a lot of hype, and that might be all it is. So we'll have to wait until we'll see what fight he takes.
It almost seems like the hype is just dying down now, right? Nobody's really talking about him anymore, right?
Yeah, it might just all be hype, right? And so we'll see, man. I can't speak on it. I don't know the guy, but he's had some good looking fights, but I feel like I could, if he wants to grapple, we can grapple and strike too. So I would love to take that fight, but like I said, who knows where he is mentally? He just fired his manager. So he talked about retirement, and the kid's like in his 20s, I think. So that's what I'm saying, bro. I keep getting back to this. It's that mental. That's the key to this game.
Yeah, man. Hopefully that fight, I want to see it. I want to see you face Khamzat. That's a good matchup. But before that, you have a fight coming up July 24th, UFC Fight Night, going back to Las Vegas. Thank you, Ian, for the time, and I appreciate it a lot.
Thank you, bro. Good talking to you. Have a good one.